I want to take you through my morning, and I want to touch on a few things that I've learned in the last 10 or 11 years that have really helped me to find a stable, consistent momentum for my day. Some of these tips might actually surprise you because where a lot of our culture says to ramp up, do more, be more productive, get more done, I've actually found that a slow buildup of momentum in our days and in our lives can lead to a lot more consistency. You're going to see me here making some granola, and I'm also helping my 8-year-old finish up her math, and then we're going to roll into doing a quick tidy up. We do that 3 times a day. When we wake up, we do chores, we get ready for the day, which I find really helps if everyone is dressed and everyone is present for our day, even though we're at home, even though we homeschool and we have really nowhere to go on this particular day. If everyone is just up and ready to go and presenting as if we were leaving the house, I find that our momentum is a lot more productive. In a world that says we need to hustle and accomplish all of the things, I actually find that having one main goal for my day really keeps momentum going. If I have my staple, key, practical projects to accomplish, such as keeping the house tidy, putting 3 meals a day on the table, and keeping school going, then all the other projects and all of my other tasks kind of fit into the nooks and crannies of our day. If I just pick one large task to accomplish, then I don't feel so mentally overwhelmed with how I'm going to accomplish all these different bits and pieces and facets of my day. I have key pieces through my day that keep us on task, such as the get up, get ready, tidy up from the night before if there's anything out. Then we start school and I get going on whatever project I have for the day. If it's cheese making, my milk, fridge, and it starts to warm up. If it's making granola, I just start pulling ingredients and mixing, and then I'm able to pause that wherever I need to help in our morning. And then I know, again, if I'm overwhelmed by the clutter, if I'm overwhelmed by the mess, that again, after lunchtime when my little guys take naps, we're going to do another very quick 5-minute tidy up, put things back in place so that our small space does not become so overwhelming. If I have these little benchmarks throughout my day that I'm kind of working towards, then I know the spaces of time that I have available in my day to accomplish any of the extra jobs that I want to get done. I also really try not to overanalyze each of my tasks. I will get to revisit pretty much everything that I do every single day again tomorrow. So if it does not get accomplished perfectly today or tomorrow, then I'm going to have the next day to accomplish the things that need to get done. I'm not responsible for making it all happen right here and right now. And in a culture where we have so much social media right at our fingertips, we're seeing people fly through tasks and fly through jobs, and those are all edited parts of someone's day. We're not seeing all the different bits and pieces of what their day actually looked like. Now, that's important to remember because we're encouraged and we're motivated and we get dopamine hits by watching somebody have a hugely productive day. But we're not seeing the in-between spaces of how their day ends, the little nitty-gritty of how they clean their bathroom. We're just seeing these short clips of how much they get done in a 15-minute video. And it's so inspiring and it's so much fun to watch, but it can be really detrimental to the flow that we have in our own homes because we feel like we're not keeping up this pace. So just as a recap, you saw me dumping in granola ingredients there, and if you're interested on how to make granola, I pretty much just put oats and nuts and some kind of melted fat, coconut oil or lard or olive oil into a bowl. This was with a sourdough mixture, so I dumped some of that in there and some dried nuts and raisins and a little bit of a sweetener. It's very simple. It doesn't require measurements. You can measure it, absolutely, if you're more comfortable with that, but it's kind of a hard thing to mess up as long as you have some kind of fat or oil in there to toast your oats and your nuts, and as long as you have a sweetener to make it taste good, a pinch of salt, maybe some spices. It's a very hard thing to mess up, and it makes a really, really great snack for little ones to crunch on if you need something fast that does not cost a lot or take a long time. So back to our momentum. One tip that I do find really, really helpful is as I'm going through my day, I don't just go through my day on my own. I have children that are along with me all day long, and I'm really intentional about including them in the things that I'm doing. Now, this feels like it slows things down. This feels like it makes all of my projects take longer, which, yes, most of the time projects do take just a little bit longer when you have kids helping you, but it takes a lot longer to be busily flying through my day and leaving my kids kind of to their own devices where they're getting bored and they're needing attention and they're asking a lot of questions. If I'm neglecting their needs, then it does slow me down quite a bit to have to stop and address those things. So when I involve them with everything that I'm doing, when I involve them with my projects and I explain to them and I'm talking to them and I'm engaging them all day long, I'm able to just keep trucking and keep moving along with the jobs that I need to get done. But I'm inviting them into the process with me so that I'm not keeping two separate days. I'm not keeping the childcare aspect separate from my tasks. We are all wrapped up in those things all together as a family. We're accomplishing them, whether it's quickly or slowly, and they should be the priority. Your kids, if you're watching this and you have children and you're trying to figure out how to navigate a productive day with children, your kids should be your priority. So outside of any other tasks that you're going to accomplish, invite your kids into your process with you. Invite them into the little tasks that you're doing. I'm talking to them throughout everything that I'm doing. I'm addressing their questions. I don't have earbuds in. I'm not pausing when I do something. I'm just having a conversation with them about what I'm doing, because eventually I am going to hand these jobs off to them. My daughter can make the granola. She can do a lot of the tasks that I do because she's been a part of them for a long time. So you're seeing here as we go through grading some math and phonics, and I'm handing off a few tasks. We're going to get ready for lunch, and I want my kids to quickly clean up some of the toys. We're going to just reset our home, and I'm going to get some little ones down for a nap. And I do find these little resets, again, just really keep morale higher in my house. When we get bogged down with clutter, I struggle emotionally to cope with the piles of stuff, and that's totally a matter of opinion. If you can thrive with more piles and more things in your home, then more power to you. You just have to decide what level you're willing to live with, and what are you comfortable with, and what are the things that bring you stress and anxiety. I hear the word anxiety in so many conversations right now, and I think anxiety is induced by trying to live in an environment that maybe we aren't comfortable with. If we can decide what level we're comfortable with living in, then we can address the tasks that need to be addressed according to what we're comfortable living in. I have a really hard time. We're in a very small space, and I get really overwhelmed quickly if we have too much piling up and building up. So that is a huge priority in my day, to tackle those jobs, to tackle the piles, to make sure that they're not too overwhelming, so that I can still be kind and pleasant and not have anxiety, because nobody needs that from mom. There's enough going on. So momentum and productivity to me in my day is only as good as the outcome that it produces. If by the end of the day I have produced so much tangible, productive work, but the mood and the tone in my home has been rushed and frustrated and moody and irritable, then that's not the goal I want. I would rather accomplish less, fewer things, and have a happier home home for my children than to get all of the jobs done. And eventually those muscles get stronger and you are able to accomplish both. You are able to accomplish so many tasks and maintain the well-being of your home. But if you think of your home as the long-term goal of raising the next generation, you're raising children that you want to be accomplishing a lot, but mostly feeling confident and safe and stable in your home, then you really should not be just tackling a checklist. You are going after a longer investment of how you accomplish your tasks while also raising your children. That should be your priority. And all the other skills will eventually fall into place as you're being diligent to take on small tasks one by one. I am still very much in the thick of feeling like everything lands on my shoulders. I don't have help coming into my home. I don't have children that are really old enough to accomplish a ton for me. But by investing in them now, by bringing them alongside with me while I'm working, while I'm doing these jobs, by spending the extra time teaching them how to do the jobs that I am doing and bringing them in with me, I do think that in the long run, I'll phase out of being in the thick of it, as most of us are, and I'll be able to hand off some of these tasks confidently, knowing that I've trained my children and I've taught them, and I am seeing small bits and pieces of the fruit of this concept because my daughter is old enough now to do tasks for me that I've taught her how to do, and it is hugely helpful to be able to hand her a baby or give her some tidying up jobs. All of my kids have chores that they do that they're learning to do really well, and I'm not looking for perfection in them. I'm just learning them for them to have an openness to learn and to be trained so that we can all pitch in and accomplish what needs to be accomplished. And I know in the next handful of years, my kids will be a huge asset in how much we get done. And right now, if I get a little bit less done, but in the grand scheme of things, I've invested deeply into them, then I can be really proud of that being one of my biggest goals. I don't want to look back on these young years and only see um, benchmarks of how much I was able to accomplish. I want to be really proud of the eternal investment that I've made in them because, guys, our kids are totally worth it. Children are such a blessing and such a gift. And if we don't invest in them now, those seasons, those years will pass. Those years where they're most open to being taught, where they're watching everything you do and they're soaking it up like a sponge. I want to be really proud of what I left for them to soak up, what I taught them, what I filled them with, and not look back and wish that I had utilized these young years just a little bit more. I can't go back, so I want to be fully present right here, not staring at a checklist, not distracted by what I feel like I should be accomplishing, but distracted by the task that I have right in front of me, my children, to invest in them and grow. Children that can find their own daily momentum. I hope you're able to find some little nugget of wisdom or help for your own daily flow. I hope you're able to just use the pieces that apply to your days and ignore the rest, as I've rambled quite a bit about how our day works. It's a little bit different every single day. It never looks quite the same, and it definitely won't look the same for you. So thank you for joining me as we got through our morning and running into a little snack here. Blessings on you, friend.